guys, how's everybody doing? It's Wednesday and we're going to do Wednesday's reading lesson. I just wanted to remind you, if you didn't do yesterday's social studies, make sure you go back and take notes on the video. Take notes on the slideshow, watch the video, and then go ahead and go back and do the Google form so you get credit for that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today we're going to be continuing learning about characters and plays, and we're going to go over a story called William Tell. So I'm going to read the story first, then we're going to go back and we're going to underline some details in the story that helps us with the characters showing their traits and their motivations. So we're going to underline stuff about William Tell, and then underline stuff about the officer. So we're going to underline those details, and if you want to do that while I'm reading, you can, that show the character traits and motivations of the characters. So the setting is a busy marketplace in Altdorf, Switzerland. William, come my son, I have sold the cowhides. Now we must buy the things your mother has asked us to get. Albert, yes, father. And what about a toy for little Louis? William, you are a good boy to remember your little brother. Officer, stop, man. Why do you not salute the cap of your king? The officer points to a pole. On top is a cloth cap. It belongs to the Austrian king who has conquered Switzerland. William, I love my country, but I refuse to honor the Austrian king who forces suffering upon my people. Officer, then I'll arrest you as a traitor. What is your name? William, standing tall. William Tell. Officer, and this is your son? Looks to a nearby soldier. Soldier, tie the boy to that tree over there. William, leave him be. He is only a child. Officer, I hear you are a famous shot. Perhaps you can shoot an apple from the head of your son. If so, I will set you free. William, never, you villain. I would rather die than risk hurting him. Now let him go and take me to jail. Officer, you will both die unless you shoot the apple as I say. William, thinking aloud, oh dear, what am I to do? Albert, trembling, Father, I want to go home. William, stand still, my brave boy. I promise I'll not hurt you. He shoots and then he falls to his knees, sighing with relief. The apple is split. What a fine shot. Officer, frowning. I did not believe anyone could make it. I suppose I must honor my word and set you free. So in the story, we have some details that show the characters' traits or their motivations for how they act or the things that they do. So we're going to look at the next page. And on this page, we're going to underline a couple lines that show the character's traits. So the officer says, why do you not salute the cap of your king? So we're going to underline that to show that he's proud of his king and of his duty as an officer. And then we're going to underline, I love my country, but I refuse to honor an Austrian king who forces suffering upon my people. We're going to underline that to show William is also proud, but he also thinks for himself and refuses to honor someone who causes suffering. And then the officer says, then I'll arrest you as a traitor. So we're going to underline that, showing that the officer is showing how he's in charge. And the officer says, soldier, tie that boy to the tree over there. Also showing that he is in charge. And at this moment, he is the boss. Then we're going to underline, leave him be, he is only a child, showing how William is being protective and caring for his own son. And then the officer says, perhaps you can shoot an apple from the head of your son. If so, I will let you go free. So he's showing that he's in control, and without William being able to shoot that apple, he's not going to let them go. And William says, I would rather die than risk hurting him. Take me to jail. So here he's showing his caring nature, and he's also showing that he's going to be protective of his own son and he would rather go to jail. And the officer says, "You will both die unless you shoot the apple as I say." Showing also again that he is in charge. And then William, "I promise I will not hurt you." Sighing with relief. So here he shows how he's proud that he knows that he can make that shot and for his son to trust him. And then 18, we're going to underline frowning. "I did not believe anyone could make it. I suppose I must honor my word and set you free." So here we show the officer is kind of sad, and he's also showing his honesty that he's going to stick to his word and set them both free. So those are some of the details that show the traits and motivations of both the officer and William. So we're going to go to the next page, and on the next page we have two parts, part A and part B. And part A says, which phrase best describes the character trait of the officer? So we have sly but fair-minded, B, heartless and cruel, C, bossy but friendly, D, respectful and polite. So we know the officer wasn't respectful and polite. We know he wasn't friendly. We know he wasn't fair-minded, so the answer would have to be B, heartless and cruel. So the three lines that we're going to identify best support our answer, which is heartless and cruel. The first one is, "Then I will arrest you as a traitor." So he's arresting him because he doesn't agree with what he's saying. And if you need to pause at any time, you can pause and write it down and then go to the next one. So the next one is, "Soldier, tie that boy to the tree over there." So that's also showing that he's being heartless by taking the William's son and tying him to a tree. And at that time, Albert, who's William's son, didn't have anything to do with anything that was going on at the moment. So there it's showing he's being very heartless. The last one would be, "You will both die unless you shoot the apple as I say." So he's showing both heartless and cruelty by being mean and saying that they're both going to die if he doesn't do what he's telling them to do. So if we look at the next page, which is page 113, and we're just going to do number 2 on that one today, because the short response is kind of just writing out what we're putting already in this character chart. So one of the traits, and we're going to look at the character William Tell, and you can see that up here, and then we're going to write the trait and then the details from the drama that give us that trait. So the first trait we're going to put is caring. So how does William Tell show that he's caring? He says, "I would rather die than risk hurting him." So he would rather die than risk hurting his own son. So it shows his caring nature. So go ahead and write that. The second trait we're going to put is upstanding. And upstanding is when you're standing up for something or you're being an upstanding person, which means you carry yourself very well. And upstanding, he says, "Leave him be, he is only a child." So he's standing up for his son, begging the officer or telling the officer to leave him be. And the last trait we're going to put is proud. And for proud, we're going to write a detail from the drama that says, "I promise I will not hurt you." So he's proud that he knows that he can make this shot without hurting his son, and he's reassuring him to let him know not to worry, that he's going to make the shot. So if you need more time to write all this down, go ahead and pause it and write it down. Remember, don't forget about the social studies from Tuesday, and also there'll be social studies today on Thursday. Okay, so have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.